What's up, everybody out there in internet land? It's your brother Moshe coming to you live from one of the 3-man caves. Only using 2. So what we're going to do tonight is and I've been really hesitating on doing a video like this on Second Amendment. But as I keep watching videos on the Parkland shooting and the all the other mass shootings that allegedly happened, I can't keep my mouth quiet anymore. And I have a friend here tonight, and I'm kind of trying to teach him how to do a YouTube video. So bear with me, bear with us. So here we go. Now, I would put out my pocket constitution, but I really don't need it for the Second Amendment. It's just our right to bear arms, and that right should not be infringed upon. Depending on who you talk to that is a believer in the Second Amendment, I would say most of us that are pro-Second Amendment already agree that our rights have been infringed upon. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that right hasn't been infringed upon. Take all conspiracy theories aside, for argument's sake. So let's get to the Parkland shooting. Again, the narrative does not fit the story. We have an individual that was in full police garb, helmet, face mask, body armor, walking through the school, and now all of a sudden he gets caught on the grass. And I don't know, but I haven't seen any video that has found the equipment he was wearing. I'm not saying it was him. I'm not saying it wasn't Nicholas Cruz. But there are too many idiosyncrasies and half-truths within that story. 4 police officers were at the scene and didn't respond? Come on. What if it was me and you in a car? Those police officers would have responded real quick. Regardless, and however, I digress. Let's talk about what they want to ban. They say they want responsible gun control. But when you really kind of get into it and you start debating them, they don't want responsible gun control. There is a good percentage of the Democrats, of the liberals, and the extreme left that actually want to ban all guns. That ain't going to happen. Because if that happens, there's going to be a civil war. So y'all don't need to worry about that too much. So let's get on to what they're talking about. The particular weapon everyone wants to focus on, the AR-15, calling it an assault weapon. Number one, there's no such thing as an assault weapon when it comes to civilians. What an assault rifle is, or what an assault weapon is a fully automatic rifle or a fully automatic weapon. There are very few people in the United States that are capable of buying a fully automatic weapon. You and me have to go through a normal background check, and those that want a fully automatic weapon, they have to go through a very special background check. And there aren't too many human beings in the United States of America that can get an assault weapon. What the military carry are fully automatic weapons. Those are assault weapons, and those are assault rifles. Okay, now let's get to the ballistics of the AR-15. Basically, what you're doing is it's a semi-automatic weapon. And what does semi-automatic mean? Because a lot of, and I'm sorry, and please forgive me for the cursing, but a lot of these people, they're talking out of their ass. They have no idea of rifles. They have no idea of guns or weapons. And I am not a huge pro-gun guy. I am not going to tell you whether I have a gun in my house or whether I don't have a gun in my house, because it's not your business. This is the internet. You don't get to know. But I am pro-Second Amendment. The bullet that an AR-15 fires is pretty much a .22 caliber bullet. It's a .223 bullet. There is no such thing as a high capacity mag. What the gun comes with, as far as my research is contained, is a 30 bullet magazine. That's not high capacity. That is the clip that the gun comes with. So that is the standard clip. And it's only as fast as you can pull the trigger. It's a 22 caliber bullet. Now, there's a very good reason why the AR-15 is a very desirable weapon, especially for people that aren't very gun savvy, haven't fired a lot of weapons in their life. It's very easy to pick it up and fire it and shoot it with great accuracy. Why is that? There's very little recoil. Now, why is that? There's all different types of AR-15. Some come with the hand grip in the front, but for the most part, it doesn't offer you a huge recoil because of the .223 caliber. As far as my research goes when it comes to guns and weapons. But what a lot of you don't want to seem to understand and realize is all those AR-15s, yes, they look intimidating. They look tactical. They look like a military-issued weapon. But what a lot of you don't want to seem to talk about or realize, there's another weapon that is the same exact weapon as the AR-15, but it's not getting mentioned here, and that's the Ruger M14. The Ruger M14 fires a .223 bullet, has a 30-round magazine, and it's semi-automatic. However, it's not looking tactical. It has a traditional wood stock, and it has a lot of wood. I think the only thing that's black on it is the muzzle and the clip and the trigger. But you would call that a hunting rifle because it looks like a traditional hunting rifle. Now, we can get into an argument about hunting rifles. We can get into an argument about home defense. It does not matter because the Second Amendment is the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment should not be repealed, which is what a lot of Dems and liberals and lefts want to do. Me personally, I think the Constitution is perfect as it has been written. One of the reasons why I'm not pulling out my pocket Constitution right now is because I personally believe that that Constitution no longer exists. Our rights to bear arms have already been infringed upon. You don't have to believe that, and I'm not saying you have to believe that. But what I am tired of is, instead of speaking out of your ass, almost everybody has a smart TV in their home. You have the internet. Take some time off of Facebook. Take some time from texting, your Twitter, your Instagram page, and actually do some research before you open your mouth and you sound stupid. Speak to a lot of military personnel, they'll call you idiots for claiming assault weapons. I know. You think I believe that children are dying because we don't have gun control laws that are preventing them from dying. The only way to stop mass shootings in a gun-free zone is to put guns in those zones. If the Parkland shooting didn't prove to you that the police can't protect you, let's just, on a very logical and rational explanation, without getting emotional, let's say I'm in my home and there is a shooter going through my condo community. One of my neighbors in the front call me, tell me there's someone coming around the bend. I call the local police. I tell them there's a shooter. Depending on how far away the police are is going to depend on how quick the police are going to get to your unit or your school or your event. On the average, they're about 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes away. Within a 5-minute time period, do you know how fast I could pull a semi-automatic trigger? Do you know how many people I can kill? So what? I'm going to sit in the corner with my phone, praying to God that the police get here soon? Or am I going to pick up what is my Second Amendment right, and I am going to defend myself? And everyone has so many bad things to say about the AR-15, but no one wants to talk about the Texas shooting. Yeah, you remember the Texas shooting, right? Where homeboy walked into that church, shot up a whole bunch of people, started running from the church, and who stopped him? Who stopped him, people? It was an NRA member that had an AR-15. So why? Just ask yourself, why are they targeting the AR-15? I'll tell you why. Because it's easy to use. It's easy to pick up, first try, and be pretty damn accurate with it. It has very little recoil. You know what does more damage than an AR-15? A very legal 12-gauge shotgun does way more damage. Like if I was going through a school and I wanted to do the most damage firing into a crowd, I would not be choosing an AR-15. I'd choose a shotgun with a big spread. I could hit way more targets. So why? I'm only going to remind you that you need to research your history. Before every horrible thing has ever happened, and the one thing I'm going to mention is because I've studied a lot of the Holocaust. Hitler did a gun grab, took everybody's weapons before the Holocaust ever happened. The main purpose of the Second Amendment is not for hunting. It's not for a hobby. It's not for sporting. It is to prevent a runaway, tyrannical government from taking away our rights. That's what it's for. So, I should be able to have a cannon. I should be able to have a tank. I should be able to have a .50 caliber automatic machine gun, which is an assault rifle. That's my personal belief. Now, with that being said, I was born and raised in New York, which we all know is a Democratic state, which we all know is a liberal state, which we all know is a sanctuary state. And I moved down to Texas. We all know Texas is open carry. And I saw people driving around in their trucks with a 30-06 on a gun rack in their shelf, and with a big old Smith & Wesson chromed out, pearl handled, long barrel right on the hip, way out in the open. And you know what? Made me a little nervous because I wasn't used to that. When you talk to these people, they're just people like you and me. And you know what the funny thing was? This particular town I lived in had a very low crime rate. America was born in guns. Do your research. Go through the West. Everyone had a weapon. Every single one. Even if you look into the Constitution, it was mandatory that anybody under the age of 35 had a weapon, along with, I believe, 7 rounds of ammunition in case you were called to be part of the militia. I get it. I understand. It's a knee-jerk emotional response. All I would say is do your research before you talk out of the anus, your ass. Because when you do that, a lot of brown stuff starts falling out, and no one wants to smell all that stuff. It's disgusting. It's nasty. No one wants to smell it. And I live in the South, and I talk to people down here all the time. And if you repeal the Second Amendment, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have a civil war on your hands, because people aren't going to give up their AR-15s, and they're not going to give up their Second Amendment rights. And they shouldn't. Enough of our rights have been taken away. And y'all that keep talking all this crap, you live a very privileged life. And you've never dealt with police. You've never dealt with any kind of difficult situations in your life. And you don't understand just how important these rights are. With that being said, my peoples, love y'all. God bless.